What up? I'm B, and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things YouTube drama and current events, but we do it in a way that is fair, reasonable, and as unbiased as we can be. Today I want to talk a little bit about Sydelko's recent tweets about her leaving YouTube and kind of the reaction that that's gotten, and then I want to tie it into Trisha Paytas and all the drama that's going on with her. So I know those two things seem kind of random, but they're gonna meet up, trust me. Okay, so Sydelko, if you don't know, she was a YouTuber. She has 1.36 million subscribers on YouTube, and she is 25 years old. She kind of rose to fame on Vine and then got a lot of attention when she had a combined channel with Elijah Daniel. Eventually they separated and she did YouTube on her own for a little bit, and now she has quit. And the actual tweet that she put out when she was quitting was, let me see here. I quit the internet stuff, just FYI, it's such a trivial job. I can't stand the people getting in fake drama for attention or acting like they're a creative when they just film themselves living. It was sort of fun while it lasted, but I value my privacy more than followers now. See ya. And that was September 6th of this year that she said that. And since then, she has stuck to that. She has not gone back on YouTube. But before, her tweets were about more about making jokes and retweeting stuff that she liked and stuff that was funny. And now it seems like there's kind of a shift. So let's just go through some of them. One of them was can't decide what's worse, heckin' good pupper Twitter or let people enjoy things Twitter. And that one, it's just that's her sense of humor, but a few people were commenting on it, talking about how, I used to be a huge fan of you, but all I've seen is just a constantly negative mindset from you. I sincerely hope you're doing well and are working to find happiness in your life. This isn't me trying to be mean, I just don't want you to fall into a depressed state. And then somebody else commented on it, replied to that tweet and said, I'm really glad someone finally said this. She literally seems like a completely different person. I used to love her content and thought she was so funny, but now every social media post is something super negative for no reason. And she replied to that and said, you people know that different people have different personalities, right? It's laughable that you think being annoyed. Sorry, it cut off. It's laughable that you think being annoyed by a certain Twitter subset is super negative. And the second person who replied again and said, okay, but I'm not just talking about this tweet. It's one thing to be annoyed by something here and there, but you rarely have anything positive to say about anything. And for the lack of a better term, you really can't just let people enjoy things. And so a few other tweets that she's posted are, this one was from this week. You can disagree with my opinions, you can think I'm annoying because of them, you can unfollow me, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong or not allowed to tweet them or that I'm bitter. People really love to picture me sitting on my phone fuming about all this when it simply isn't true. And then another tweet that I thought was really interesting, and this will be the last one, is, I know I'm 2 months late, but since I truly have nothing to lose at this point, I'll just say it. The amount of YouTubers who drove/flew all the way to Vegas to attend a fake wedding just for video content is one of the saddest/cringiest things I've ever seen. So, having those tweets out there, when I saw them, I was kind of on the same page as the first people who replied to the tweet, who were like, why are you so negative? You seem like you've changed, you're so different. And I'm like, yeah, she has a really bad attitude. What is the point of that? Why is she coming off like that? She quit YouTube, that's fine, but now it seems like everything related to social media is, she thinks it's stupid or dumb or cringy or whatever. But then I thought about it a little bit more. And I thought about the type of content that she made and that she was involved in when she was on YouTube. And the majority of that content, from what I saw, because I didn't watch all of the Christina and Elijah videos. I watched a few of them. I was into some of them. At the time, when Elijah and Tana Mojo first became friends, I was really into Tana at that point. And so I remember seeing her in Tana's videos. And so Um, she was on some of the Vlog Squad ones, and so just from the ones that I have seen, it seemed like it was always playing up the fact that the joke was on Christine. Like, Christine was 100% the comedic value, but not because she's funny, which she is, but it's because the things that she does are funny, and the way that they frame her is funny because she's overweight, which is a constant thing. It doesn't matter if it's YouTube, Hollywood, in high school, whatever it is. It seems like girls who are overweight or women who are overweight, their only value in entertainment is to be funny because they are overweight. Like, everything, every role centered around them, every joke centered around them, it's not because they have a brilliant mind or a comedic mind. It's, this is funny because you're overweight. This is shocking because you're overweight. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that guy likes you because you're overweight, in spite of the fact that you're overweight. And that's really what I think of when I think about the videos that Christine was in. The jokes being made because of her appearance, her body, whatever. And even the most confident person, like, I think self-deprecating humor is really funny. I love it. Like, I'll make jokes about myself. I like when other people do it, but I also think there has to be a line, because you can admit your faults. You can admit, like, when something is fun to make fun of about yourself, while still valuing who you are as a person and recognizing that value and showing that value and broadcasting it. You know, it doesn't have to all be self-deprecating or this is funny because of this traditionally negative thing about me, if that makes sense. So those are the things that really stuck out to me about Christine's time on YouTube, and it kind of makes sense. Like, it clicks to me why she seems so disillusioned, because she's funny. Like, she is a funny person. She has a good sense of humor. She's quick, she's witty, but, you know, there's different videos where she'll, like, make out with somebody, and it's funny because, oh, it's Christine. If it was a traditional, like, conventionally attractive, thin woman, it's not the same comedic value. It's not funny. It's not the same thing. So I totally get why, with that experience, she's gonna be, I don't want to say bitter because she said she's not bitter, but she's gonna be over it. She's gonna be like, this is stupid. This is a trivial job. It's not fulfilling because of that. And that's how it ties into Trisha Paytas. Because for the longest time we saw Christine playing this persona, this portrait of who she is, when the fact is she is a very educated person. Like, she went to college, I don't even know, I think it was for political science, but something like politics related, or like global politics related, something like that. And so you know that she has a good brain, like, she has a good head on her shoulders, but she was being pigeonholed into this one thing to get views, to get shock value, comedic value, to get these views, and she wasn't allowed to express herself in the most authentic way. And that's why I think it's dangerous when YouTubers put on these personas of people who they really aren't. You know, when you're on camera, you play up who you are. Some people do, you know, you make it a little bit more energetic, a little bit peppier, a little bit more outspoken, just because you want it to be entertaining. But when you are honing in on one specific thing in order to get the most views or the most likes or the most publicity, even if it's bad, then that's where it becomes a problem. And I think if Christine had, from the get-go, been able to not have to rely on that, not have the people around her encourage her to rely on just that shock value because of her body type, which I don't want to judge. I don't want to say, like, anything about her body type I don't want to qualify it in any way. I'm just saying the way that they approached it and the jokes that they made about it were because she's overweight. So I just want to put that in there. But they encouraged her to make jokes around that. They put jokes in that were about that, about her weight, about the way she looks, about the fact that she wore the same t-shirt over and over and over again, you know? And if she hadn't been kind of stuffed into that one little category, she might have not experienced the burnout. She might not feel this way about social media, and she could continue to do something that she is truly really good at, and she's really funny. So it's kind of sad, and that's how it plays into and connects into Trisha Paytas. Because Trisha, for the longest time, she is a smart person. Like, I don't care what people say. She is smart, and she knows what she's doing when she does certain things. And so for the longest time, she has been known for trolling, for being hypersexual, for being a mess. Like, that is her YouTube persona. But I truly think if you know her as a person, those are elements of her personality, but that's not all of her personality. If you look at some of the older videos that she did, like back when she was hanging out with Shane Dawson and Drew Monson all the time, like, she would make jokes that were kind of mean, but also very witty. And you could tell she was just giving. She loved hanging out. She loved being with her friends. But when you're that type of person, when you're just like a nice person who's hanging out, having a good time, you're not sensational and you don't get the views. And, you know, she had experience being on like Dr. Phil and My Strange Addiction for tanning and stuff like that. And so having that experience, knowing that if I am the extreme of something, I get more attention, is a very dangerous connection to make, because then it leads you to these more extreme things, like saying that you are a transgender gay man who identifies with your birth gender 100% when you were born a female, but is also 1000% transgender. Because that's the thing, like, with her video coming out as transgender, I was a little bit cautious of it. In my head, I was just like, maybe she is, you know, questioning these things. Maybe she doesn't know and she was offensive because she's just ignorant of these facts. But the more I've seen other people talk about it and the more I have heard about it and thought about it, it's a pattern. And I don't know, like, I don't ever want to tell somebody that they're not having feelings of, like, questioning who they are. You know, it's like Smokey Glow said. She's like, if there's a 1% chance that this is sincere, I don't want to bash her for it. And that's the thing, you never know. With Trisha, it is historically that she has not been sincere when she says stuff like this. She's trolling, she's getting attention, she's playing it up for the views, for the money, for the publicity. And so it's hard when somebody it always does that, to take them seriously if it's a serious topic. When they are finally ready to be sincere, no one believes you, because they've been trained not to. You've taught them not to believe you. And so that's where I think we come to a head, because if Trisha is sincerely struggling with any of this, the persona that she's taken on is going to prevent her from being able to actually talk about it, be honest about it, have open conversations about it. And if she's not, it's also crazy, because if she's not being sincere about it, I don't know what thought process you have where you're okay saying these things, portraying yourself in such an ignorant and sensitive way just to get views, because that's her personality. That is the face that she puts on for YouTube, is to be shocking and get views, because people are just like, what is going on? What is she doing? But I don't know how, as a 31-year-old person, you're okay with doing these things that you know people are going to hate you for just because it gets you publicity. And that's, again, that is where the danger is. Putting on fake personalities for YouTube is incredibly dangerous. And I think that's the biggest thing I want to talk about, is things have gotten so crazy. You know, people always talk about, oh, YouTube's changed, it's so different, I miss the old YouTube. And I embrace that sentiment, but I think it's also really cool that YouTube has evolved into a place where you have YouTube personalities who are making a living. This is their job. They've been able to monetize their social media presence. And I think that that's really cool too. And that's something that wouldn't have really happened on the old YouTube unless you went crazy viral and were able to sustain it. So I think it's both, but I just think we have to be aware of the big picture of things and think about, when we watch somebody, is this a sincere portrayal of who they are, or is this a persona? Is this a dangerous persona? Is this a persona that is going to make somebody feel bad about themselves? And then just kind of vote with our views. And I think that's why I stopped watching Trisha about a year ago. There's been one or two videos, and obviously I watched her I'm transgender female to male video and her apology video, the first one. I watched both of those and like a few others throughout the year, but really I was like, I don't like this persona. I don't like somebody portraying themselves in a bad way just to get publicity. And I think it leads to really deep-seated issues when you do that, when you're not being your authentic self. And that's why we see so much chaos from her and so much sadness. And I watched a video from, I think her name is Michelle. She has a channel, My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You. She's like, it was about why Trisha will always be the fat girl or the chubby girl. And it's because she goes through these cycles of mukbang for views, binging for views, going on a water detox, posting it for views, and then repeating again. And so it leads to a really dangerous cycle. So, all that being said, what do you think? Do you like when people put on these personas, and do you think it's totally fine as long as they're able to distinguish their persona from reality? Do you prefer to watch people who aren't as sensational, who are just kind of average people, like hanging out, doing regular things, or they have their niche, but they're not like for me, I prefer watching smaller like beauty channels because it's just an average person. It's an attainable person. Because when you watch like bigger beauty gurus doing tutorials and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm never going to be able to follow that. I'm never going to be able to do that. I'm never going to want to go all out and do that. But when you watch somebody who's a smaller channel, it's more relatable. So that's what I'm asking. Like, do you prefer watching smaller, more relatable channels, or do you prefer the big personalities and the sensations, like people who are crazy, sensational, blow up fast, have so much attention, whether it's good or bad? Let me know in a comment below, and that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love it if you would like this video or subscribe to my channel. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much. I am so grateful for you, and I love just being able to hang out and talk about stuff like this all the time. It's super fun. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Thanks again so much for watching, and remember to go out there and be the voice of reason in a world full of crazy. Bye.